The most ruthless fight in the career of the legendary Manny Pacquiao. A bout where every round felt less like sport and more like survival. Where blood and pain replaced strategy and technique, and where the fate of both men would go in completely different directions. Las Vegas. A night that was supposed to be another step in the rise of a young champion from the Philippines. At just 22, Manny Pacquiao, the IBF world champion, was a storm in human form. His speed, volume, and power were unmatched. The boxing world saw in him the next great force. Across the ring stood Agapito Sanchez of the Dominican Republic, a fighter known for his toughness and his dark reputation. His nickname said it all, Dirty Fighter. Sanchez was skilled, but ruthless. He thrived in chaos, often crossing the line with headbutts, elbows, and low blows. He didn't just fight, he provoked, frustrated, and punished his opponents mentally and physically. From the opening bell, Sanchez tried to smother Pacquiao, grabbing, pushing, tying him up, doing everything possible to break his rhythm. But Manny's hand speed was on another level. Sharp 1-2s and explosive left hooks pushed Sanchez backward. The first round clearly belonged to the Filipino. Then, early in the second round, everything changed. As the fighters closed distance, Sanchez lunged forward and smashed his head into Pacquiao's face. Blood instantly poured from a deep cut under Manny's right eye. It wasn't an accident, it was a tactic. But Pacquiao didn't back down. He kept throwing, kept pressing, ignoring the pain. Sanchez began targeting him with every dirty trick he knew. Punches below the belt, elbows in close, clinches that ended with hidden shots. Referee Mitch Halpern warned him again and again, but Sanchez didn't care. One of his low blows landed so hard that Pacquiao had to stop and take the full 5 minutes allowed to recover. The crowd erupted, furious that the fight hadn't been stopped. When action resumed, Pacquiao came out like a storm. He overwhelmed Sanchez with blistering combinations, forcing him into retreat. It seemed like the end was near, but just as momentum swung in Manny's favor, another headbutt, this time straight into the same cut. Blood flowed again. The ringside doctor climbed onto the apron. After a quick inspection, he shook his head. The referee had no choice. The fight was stopped. Result, technical draw. The crowd booed. Pacquiao's corners shouted in protest. Many experts later said it should have been a disqualification, not a draw. But the verdict stood. For Pacquiao, it became a harsh lesson that talent and discipline alone aren't always enough. Sometimes even champions have to fight through injustice. After that night, Manny trained with a new kind of hunger, determined never to be caught off guard again. He refined his footwork, sharpened his combinations, and turned frustration into fuel. Within a year, he would rise higher than ever, collecting more titles and becoming one of the most feared fighters of his generation, a man who turned adversity into greatness. Agapito Sanchez's career went the other way. After that night, his fights grew fewer, his form faded, and his name became synonymous not with victory, but with dirt and controversy. And the end of his story was tragic. In November 2005, Sanchez was shot and killed by an Air Force officer during a nightclub altercation in the Dominican Republic. He was just 35 years old.